background is installed and I'm so excited to share it with you. Here's the deal. I'm going a little bit more raw than I planned to. I was going to show you from the camera angle. I promised you some cool tricks that I was going to show you and all of that good stuff. This studio is a complete mess. I am not as ready as I thought I would be. So we're gonna go raw here today, and feel free to ask any questions that you have about this or anything else. I know that we're actually using a bit of a different link today than I sent out, so it'll take a while for people to come on in, but that's okay. This is one of the things that I have dreamt about having in my studio for many years. Actually, originally my dream that I saw this online I think it was on Home Depot, and I saw these red panels that looked similar to this, and I was like, I need that in my studio. I never got a chance to really install that in any of the studios. It just never was the right time. So I got here, and if you haven't heard, if you haven't been catching up on all of the different things that I'm doing in this studio, you can see a little bit of where I'm going. Like I have some lights set up, but not really set properly. They don't look good yet. And all of that good stuff. So I have 3 different sets that I'm building out, actually 4. Because I want flexibility to help you guys see. One of your biggest issues is backgrounds, is building out your background. And if you've ever heard me talk about backgrounds, you've heard me say there are different ways. I have 5 different buckets, different types of background sets that you can build out for yourself. And this is a very personal thing to build, right? It's not one size fits all. So it really has to match your personality, the vibe of the content that you want to put out there. And so I kind of group it into 5 different buckets. And if you want more content around that, say yes in the comments right now. I'm going to see all your comments here in a second. So I have this background, which is the first one up and running. Then I'm going to be building out the main set background on this blank wall soon. I started out with one idea and I totally changed it. I sent all of those wood panels back, just wasn't vibing with it. And I have a whole new plan for that. Cannot wait to get those things that I've ordered in the house so I can build that out. But my main desk is not ready yet. So I'm waiting on that as well. So the main set will be the last set that I build. And then of course I have the bold video bundle, the example of what we teach in our course. That's over there. It's a mess as well. It's got cameras and computers and boxes and tools just lying all over it right now. So that'll get up and running soon. But this one was the first one to get. And I wanted to kind of share with you all of the details about why I built it the way I built it and kind of the tricks that I've come up with for this. So before I get to that, I wanted to say hi. I see Regent in the house, Sammy in the house, Renee in the house, David, greetings from Eastern Tennessee. Einar is in the house as well. Austin, this is gonna look so much better when you get to see it on camera for reals, but it looks so cool already. It looks so cool already, and when I get all of the right cameras and lighting and computers and all of that set up, we're getting there. It's a slow process because I'm juggling also running a business and doing all of the things. So we're getting there. But it'll look so much cooler as well. French Press, Angelo, nice to see you. CJ, Max Voltage, hello. Renee is asking, how many studios can one creator really fit into a single room? 4 is going to be the answer to that, at least. So I have plans for 4 different types of experiences, as I like to think of them, here in this one. I never really measured it. I did measure it. I don't remember. I think it's a 10 by 12 room. I'll measure it again before I say that. But I want to be able to show you all of the different things, all of the different ways, and give you inspiration and help you design your own as well. Eric says, cool wall. Yes, indeed. Hey, Stephen. Nice to see everybody. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. Hello, Marianne. Backdrop looking fab. All right. So these are, let me kind of break down what I did here. So it needs to be cleaned off, but you can't really see that on camera. You can kind of see a little bit, but I do need to kind of come in and like wipe it down from the construction of it. So these are, oh, hold on. I'll be right back. I'm just getting, and by the way, here we go. Oh. Here we go. So what these are is just these little plastic thin panels. Ooh, that would be cool too. Hold on, this is backwards. I'm just curious. Oh, it looks exactly the same. Anyway, just got curious about that while live. Yeah, the light plays off the ripples is so cool. So these are just thin little panels. And what the box tells you to do is liquid glue them to the wall. Well, I wasn't going to do that. I'm probably going to leave this place. You know, it's renting, and as many of you rent, that's not something that I wanted to mess with, tearing apart the wall so that I had to deal with it later, right? And so that was something that was really important, is to not mess with the wall. A few nail holes would be doable to deal with on the way out, but I really needed flexibility. And so what we did was I had a guy who does construction, because I don't do construction. I had a guy who basically bought and cut different plywood. So these are 2 different, this is one piece of plywood and this is a second piece of plywood. So you've got 2 4x8 plywoods cut down to size to match the 2 panel sets. So there are 4 panels down and 2 panels across, ultimately 4 panels across. So there are 2 pieces of plywood, and the plywood is on hangers. So originally I was going to have them put the, or like nail the plywood to the wall, but then I was thinking like maybe I want to have some flexibility. I don't have everything set up yet. I could get it wrong in terms of where I actually want it once everything is coming together. So then and also, what if I want to take this when I leave, right? So those were all the thoughts kind of going through my head. And so I was thinking, okay, well, what if we have some flexibility built in here? And he came up with the idea to put them on hangers. And so he basically just put some holes in the wall, and actually they're on hangers. So I could lift this up. I'm not going to do it right now because you'll watch me like totally fall to pieces, I'm sure, and break it all if I'm trying to do it on camera. So I could lift this up and move it somewhere else in the room, take it out of here entirely, whatever. So that flexibility is super, super awesome. And if you have any questions, just put a Q in front of the question. And if you have questions about anything else, video or live streaming setup related, just let me know. Also, I don't know what a French cleat is, David. I said I don't do, I think that's a construction thing. I told you I don't do construction, right? 3M control strips, not going to be strong enough for that. And again, coming back to the flexibility, the wall damage, like 3M usually doesn't do wall damage, but it could. It has for me before. So different risks there, right? And then the other thing that I had him do, because I was looking at, he was like, where do you want it hung? And I had kind of decided on it, but if you haven't seen the time lapse of him actually putting it up and we were measuring and doing things like that, I put that on Instagram the other day, and I'll share more time lapses. I captured it all. But I had kind of decided, and I was looking through the camera lens and I was not sure. Like in that moment, I was like, okay, what if I got it wrong? What if when the main desk gets in here, it's going to interfere with where I put that because of the lights and all of these different things that are still undecided or not fully baked yet, right? Because the reality is, when I get the main desk in here and put all of the lights and all of that, that has to take priority over everything else in this space because it's the main studio. And so I was like, okay, what if I got it wrong? What if I don't like the position of the camera where I have it right now and I need to change it? So I was like, okay. He was like, do you want to flush up against, kind of like the shutter there? And I was like, I think maybe not, but what if I do? And so I said, okay, what if you give me option A and option B and just hang enough nails spaced out enough so that I could move it in and out of position based on where the camera winds up. And so he did that, and it's freaking amazing. So I can move these things around as needed. So I'm super excited. It looks great. I can change the lights, of course. We could go green. Ooh, green. So, and with the green, you can actually see some of the dirt from the construction process. So I'll have to wipe it down, all of that good stuff. But what do you guys think? You like? Okay. It sounds like you guys do like. Let's see. CJ says that was a smart move. No, Curtis, they're not ceiling panels. They're called 3D wall panels is what that is. And there are all kinds, if you are looking to do something like this in your own studio, there are all kinds on Amazon. We can link to the ones that we have, except I didn't give my team a link to that. That would have been smart. Let's see. Hello, Stefan. Nice to see you. French Press says, with that wall, Larry is going to need a monthly Amazon subscription of Swiffer dusters. Yeah, true. That is probably accurate. Marianne turned 50 at the beginning of this year. So far, so good. Happy birthday. That's an amazing milestone. I love it. And I bet 50 is even better than 40s. All right. That looks effing amazing. I thought it was a sound insulating wall panel, not just plastic parts. No, it's not. You could get that, but I did not. I don't need, like, if this was not carpeted, and we keep kind of like coming back to this as a concept on these streams, but like the carpeting is really doing a lot of the sound. And I totally, because I was dealing with a bunch of stuff right before going live, I totally forgot to put on my wireless mic. I apologize for the room sound, but on the main mic, it'll be fine. I might need to do a little bit of treatment, but with everything that I'm putting in here, I don't expect that I'm going to need much in that way. And so I didn't want to go through the extra expense of that if I didn't need to. French press, yes, you do. Hey, don't tell me I can't use power tools. Now, that'll get me all riled up. I can use power tools. Maybe not cutting wood power. Actually, I have done that before. I have, and I can. I just don't want to. Why spend time doing something I'm not totally experienced at? But I use the drill all the time. That's a power tool. But don't tell me I can't, or I'll show you I can. That's who I am. Let's see. I'm using your colors. Good. I will let Renee answer that. French press. Let's see. Hey, Games. Nice to see you in here. No change it back. My colors. I'm sorry, Rich. I'm sorry. Paul says, looks good so far. Can't wait to see the final result. Yeah, it's almost there. So here's the deal. I've been in this place. As you know, I was traveling, all of that. I have made progress in this studio, just not the kind of progress that you can see. But a lot of the progress that I've been making in this studio is deciding on things like this and all of the pieces that go around it, the main studio background, the desks, the chairs, the things that have to go in here. I got so frustrated over the last couple of days trying to get this set up and the cameras and all of that. I decided that I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Instead of trying to get the studio set up first, I have to organize my gear in a way that I can find things. Because part of the problem or the stalling that has been happening is that I go to put up a camera and I'm like, where's the dummy battery? Well, I thought I had a bunch of dummy batteries over here, but they've apparently moved or I've used them all. So where's more dummy batteries? I know I have them. Right, where are they? Where's the adapter to plug in? Where are my capture cards? Like, so a lot of it is like digging through the mess to just find the next thing. So what I think I'm going to do is actually totally take a pause on setting up. It doesn't have to be a long pause, probably a day. I'm gonna move some stuff out of the way, open up the floor, and go to town on organization, making sure I know where the USB-C cables are, making sure I know where the HDMI cables are, the capture cards, the things, get them in the closets as they need to be so that I can just find, grab, and do. And then the setup should go so much smoother because I really have wasted a lot of time just digging and it's frustrating the hell out of me. Maybe you can, CJ says, maybe you can do different colors, like when you're sad, you go blue, mad if you go red. So you can, it's like a mood ring. It's like a mood wall. You know what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking by the color that I'm choosing. I like it. Sammy says, really like the new set. Yay! Hello, Billy. Nice to see you. I forget, is that studio part of where you live or a separate studio space you rent? Yeah, it's in the home. So that's being new to the area as a whole, the Bay Area. Didn't want to make any permanent decisions, didn't want to make any investments that were going to be in a long-term decision. So it's all, home and office as well. So trying to separate that out as well so that I can have a work-life balance. So all of those things were part of the decision-making process. All right. Hello, video like a dad. Deal Billy says, I love playing ADHD hide and seek with my stuff. Yeah, well said, well said. That's funny. Also, I have a question. Callie, can we do a poll? I want to do a poll because, so new year, new you, all that good stuff. We are internally in the business doing some really cool stuff. I'm really excited for this first quarter. And I'm going to share those details with you soon, but my schedule, I'm basically rethinking my schedule entirely. Tuesdays, ever since I went from Friday lives to Tuesday lives, hasn't really worked out so well for me, for you, for all of us. I haven't been able to consistently show up on Tuesdays, which I could now, I think, make it work, but I don't think it worked for you. So I'm curious if we could do a poll on which day of the week you would be able to show up and you would like to see and hang out and not just get Q&As, but some other forms of content that I have planned for live so that you can really start to make progress in your own video setups, your own content, and really push that forward this year in 2025. So Mondays, so I'm thinking between, let's say, 8 a.m. Pacific and noon Pacific, because you get me after in the afternoon and my energy is drained. I'm a morning person, so it's not going to be an evening it would be a disaster if I did evening streams, and work-life balance and all of that too. So 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. Pacific. So that's 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm not saying I'm filling that whole space. I'm saying that would be the bucket that I would be looking at. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday's probably out, but could be. I could make that work. So which one of those would you be able to show up on a weekly basis for? I want to really get live going again this year because it's been a little bit like that. Everything, my content wise for a while has been that way. Let's see. What other questions do you have about this or anything else, or thoughts or ideas that you have? Share with the community. Does any French Press wants to know, does anyone offer a beauty filter to use in Ecamm? I love my new ZVE 10, but dang, it's so good that I'm going to need a studio makeup artist for my old man's skin. You know, I was actually just thinking about this because I have several students in the Bold Video Bundle who come from webcams that have a fake, you know, beauty filter essentially. They come, like a lot of people, and I've seen this for years, they go from webcam to real camera, like the Sony ZVE 10 with a nice lens, and all of a sudden you tend to think, oh, I look so old, and you start to see things that you didn't see before, and it shifts the way you think about what you've just set up. And I was just literally thinking about this over the last 24 hours of how can I help support you in knowing that that's actually a really good thing. People, but what the difference is, right? It's like the fakeness versus the reality. And it's in a lighting, it's in the way that you accept yourself for who you are. Like I have wrinkles, like you can see that this isn't the pro cam, obviously, but like we don't want to look fake with those beauty filters. That being said, you can color, you can get a LUT. There are many, YouTube channels that offer LUTs that you could put in to Ecamm as well, if you want to color it a little bit. So it's an interesting conversation to have, right? Is thinking about reality and how you can actually, like, the HD cameras, the high quality cameras, do show a little bit more than you're used to if you're coming from like a webcam. But that's actually, in my mind, a good thing because you can control it so much more, and you can make it look so much better. So anyway, it's an interesting conversation to continue to have. Thank you, Billy. Follow-up question. So you have a separate home office from your studio? No. This is like all office and studio all in one. Mine is the same, and I'm trying to decide if I should create a separate studio in the basement. Depends on your needs, right? Your use cases. So for me, I used to kind of separate. In my old place, I had main studio, and then I would have my like workspace. I'm still gonna have dedicated machines for studio efforts, but like all my work, like the heavy lifting that I do will still be separated from the main machine. However, I'll have the ability to just be able to do meetings and things like that. I do a lot of meetings, but because of what I teach, it's actually beneficial to me. And I will say it's probably beneficial to you to have that same, set up, the background and the high quality camera coming into any calls that you do on Zoom, Google Meet, any of the others, wherever, that is actually super beneficial to you. So I would say think about why you want to separate it and how you can actually merge it together. And I'll be sharing how I'm doing that and what my plans are around that. But I want to be able to use my MacBook for all of the open tabs and all of the things so that I don't have to shut that down when I am actually going live or recording video. But I also want to be able to use the things that I've built so that I look great when coming into calls. And I think that that's something that you should be able to do. But it's so nice having studio equipment in my office. Well, I do have the benefit, and you could fake this as well if you have the room. I have the benefit of having a big closet in here that all of the equipment is going to go into. And so it won't be like in my space. It'll be separated. So that's nice. But you could get a shelving unit. You could get organization bins, things like that to separate that from your main kind of world as well. Billy, should we be focusing on vertical or horizontal lives this year, or does it matter? Well, here's what's interesting. Many people, including Colin and Samir and somebody else, actually have been touting live for this year, saying that it's going to be the thing this year again. And I think that you should use both very strategically. Is that something you want more training on? So essentially what I would do is you're like, anything that you're doing, I don't know what your content is off the top of my head, Billy, but anything you're doing that is reputation enhancing, do horizontal from a good quality. I point at the phone like it's a good quality. From a good quality setup with pro camera, pro lights, your Ecamm or vMix or OBS with graphics and all of that, so that you can set the stage and you can enhance your reputation through horizontal. But vertical should be more behind the scenes, kind of look at this, and also just more raw connection, because they have different reaches, right? So I think that you really should be thinking about a mix of the two strategies. David, yes, I will. I'll throw it out on social after the fact. I don't know if my team has a link to what I've purchased, to be honest, which I should have thought. Paul Berg, hey, have you thought about doing more vlogging? I heard that's coming back on YouTube. I'm not interested in doing vlogging. I've got enough on my plate, but I think that, it's like what I just said, I'll be doing more like vertical live streaming, behind the scenes, kind of raw conversation, and also playing with shorts at some point this year. I know I'm late to the game there, but definitely horizontal is still a big thing to me. Yeah, so French press, the zoom slider for touch up my appearance is kind of what you were thinking about before. It could be used sparingly. I just, people overuse it, and then you look fake. And that, when we think about showing up authentically and really in connecting with people, if you go too far, it's gonna be obvious. So be very careful with that, is what I would say. Steven, sorry if you already answered, just got here from the other link. Sorry about that. Love how you can control light absorption. I missed how you were combining colors. Oh, yeah. So I am using, here, use the right. So I'm using these two LED RGB light panels. These are the NAN lights. And so they're just shining up at the wall, and I can put both on the same color, or I can do different colors. You've seen me do that with the gray background that I used to have in my old studio. If you were paying attention then, some of my videos on my YouTube channel, you'll see that it's just basically a blank backdrop with color, LED colors. So yeah. With TikTok getting the boot, will YouTube Shorts jump in popularity? I don't know that they will, to be honest. I think that maybe somewhat, but I think somewhat. I think some people will. I think that the core majority of TikTok users are going to the other apps, Red Note, Lemon, whatever. Somebody will put that in the chat. But yeah, So I think that at least temporarily, the shift is going somewhere else to other apps that are really popular in like China and in Asia. But I think that some people, like I can see already, some of the people I follow on TikTok are, putting YouTube links in their descriptions, and Instagram as well. So I think it's gonna kind of filter out if TikTok winds up getting the boot. I still am not convinced that it's gonna go away, but we'll see in a few days. Let's see. Okay, just reading through your, I know I'm late. I'll be hyper-focused on live selling this year. That's the other thing. Gary Vee was just talking about this as well, like live selling is going to go through the roof this year. We've been saying that for a couple of years though. I do like live selling in Asia is killing, like killing. US is definitely behind the times in accepting. And I'm wondering, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram all have said in the past few years that they're developing tools for live selling, and I've heard crickets from all of the platforms, US based. And so all of the live selling is happening in in fact, even like, so YouTube, this was like what, 3 years ago? 3 years ago, I think, maybe even 4, but I think 3. YouTube's live selling team actually came to me, or maybe it wasn't live selling. One of the YouTube teams came to me and was like, hey, like we are testing this selling platform. And they asked me to coach their entrepreneurs. It was for a small business. That was the small business team, actually. They were testing this selling through with small businesses who hadn't really gone live yet. And so they had asked me to coach some of their entrepreneurs on the selling process, being on camera, all of this. And that was one of my favorite things I've ever done. It was so cool to work with that group of entrepreneurs who are new to live, new to video, and selling in that form. And we saw some really cool success with that. But that was the last thing I heard about the selling platforms. And so I'm really like anxious to see where that is gonna go. But the live selling platforms that exist are killing it, that are separate apps and platforms. So if you are focused, eliminate. Okay, thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Regent. But yeah, so live selling will be interesting this year. I just don't know that it'll hit total mainstream until the platforms that we already use integrate them. Oh, what if we want to go to Google Plus again? Not possible, unfortunately. Paul, thank you so much. I'm just getting burnt out on new social media, I guess, tired of starting over every couple of years, which is why you've got to build your own list. This is, if you are not building your own email list, you are setting yourself up for failure, for having to do that restart every time something changes. So I always talk about like, okay, YouTube, Facebook, if you're going to stay on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of them, they can change anything at any moment. They are our partners to gain an audience, and we should use them and we should partner with them because they have the audience. But if you are not building off of that audience to your own controlled email list and community off platform, you're gonna have to go through that restart process every single time. And it's gonna lead to burnout, and it leads to chaotic chaos. That's the right word for that. But yeah, like that's a really important thing that you must start doing if you're not already. Have you ever thought, Paul wants to know, about streaming on Whatnot? It's wild, people selling all sorts of stuff. You know, I test different things. Whatnot is wild right now, but it's mostly liquidation sellers and resellers. I've sold 1,600 items there. Tons of fun. Nice, Billy. I test different things. I like to be ahead of the curve, but also not put myself in a situation where I'm chasing new, so that I'm not, so there's a balance to me, to my business. There's a balance because I still need the foundational structure to stay solid, if that makes sense. And so anything else I do, anything other I'm testing, it's like an experiment until it's proven to do something that changes the foundation of what I've already built. French press, you realize the family here is going to demand some kind of new Pocket Callie live action and some new Cortana Callie reactions in the streams. Yeah, so we got to figure that out with her not being here. But we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. How's the poll going? Let's see. 29% of you say Mondays. Interesting. That's okay. That's interesting. Tuesdays, 8 a.m. This proves what, maybe kind of, I mean, this is a small sampling of people, but it proves why Tuesday is not working. Wednesdays, 31%. Thursdays, 25%. All right. So Tuesdays, obviously, y'all don't like. Wednesdays, what day is today? Today's Thursday? Today's Thursday. So 31% of you are saying that actually yesterday would have been a better day, which I was going to originally, but I just wasn't ready. This wasn't up, blah, 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 blah. Sammy says, I can't get rid of the poll now. I can't get rid of the I don't want to end the poll. I want Callie to deal with that. I can't get back to chat. Oh no. How do you get rid of the poll without ending the poll? There we go. Okay. That was like stress inducing right there. Mark Lowery, how are you? Nice to see you. I sure love the studio y'all built for me. Yes, I use it almost every day when I'm not on the road. I'm so glad that you're still in use. We need to catch up. Last time you texted me, you had some updates to give, so I want to hear more. So yeah, I'll text you later. But I'm so glad that studio that we built for you is being used and super useful for you. And if you guys, maybe you're not needing a full studio build like you know that we do. I had a call with somebody the other day who was like, I didn't know if you did anything but studio builds, like full-on studio builds, where we go into people's houses and build their studio for them. Not everybody needs that, but we do have support for you in a way that can help you get further faster without all of the decision fatigue, without all of the, mistakes made with the wrong gear choices, et cetera, et cetera. So I want you to, reach out to us. We have, if you're wanting some direct one-on-one support, even if it's not like us full on coming out to you and building your studio, because that's a definite level of expense for sure. But let us help you in smaller ways and in ways that can really derive direct results for you, so you can get on with the good stuff and you actually do the thing that you're best at, versus like fussing with all of the tech. We have a call link if you want to reach out to us and book a one-on-one discovery call to see how we can support you best, and have some updates around all of that soon as well that I can't wait to share with you. All right, French Press said, how can Ecamm interview mode be used to create live Pocket Callie? Interesting. Yeah, it definitely could be. But she also doesn't have a video set up in her space, and I'm not sure she wants that. So we'll figure it out. We are talking about having her come out here from time to time to do some content. So we could also do that as well. Let's see. I could show up more on Monday, but Thursday would be a good backup. Okay. Friday at 1 p.m. was the OG time. I know. But what if I want to, like, I live in California now, so that was a summer thing. Like, when I changed it to Tuesdays, I was like, I want to have, like, space on the weekends to be able to, like, really work through the week and, like, go play on a long weekend or whatever. But now that I live in California, it's kind of like I could do that year round. And so I don't know if I want to mess with Fridays. I'm considering it though. I still am. What do you love most about the San Francisco Bay Area? What do you love least? Great question. I haven't loved the house much. It's been so intense trying to just get settled in with the studio, with the house, all of it. But you know, so I don't really have that total answer yet, but from my experience so far is the sun, definitely. Like, the weather is incredible. Despite everything that they say about San Francisco weather. And I think that, like, Abby is feeling so much sprier. No, that's not the right word. Like, she zoomies a lot more. She soaks in the sun. I soak in the sun. There's easy access to the beach. I used to have easy access, but now I have easier access. You know, so it's like there's a lot of access to kind of the elements, which is really, really awesome for an outdoors girl, especially. So the thing I don't like is traffic, but I have flexibility enough in my schedule that I don't have to go out in traffic either. I definitely don't like California drivers. Like, I know everybody says like their drivers are the worst, but it gets scary out there sometimes. I will be honest. Let's see. I'm a big fan of the sun. Love the moon too. Could take or leave Mercury. Well, didn't you? No, that was Mars. Was it Mars that we saw? Jupiter and Mars? Or was it Jupiter and Mercury? I forget already. But the wolf moon was beautiful. I actually did, and I didn't post about this on social, but I actually did like a group paddle for the moonrise and sunset was happening at the same time, the night before the full moon. And that was incredible. So that was really cool to kind of get to know some other paddlers in the area as well, and get some really cool views of the moon rising, the sun setting on opposite ends. So got some cool pictures from that, and I loved that. So, you know, like I'm paddling in January without a wetsuit. Like, that makes me happy. To answer your question, Paul. And California speed limit says it's 50, so that means 90. Not in my experience. They drive slower than I would. Maybe I'm a speed demon, but, you know, like, I'm like, why are you only going 5 miles over the speed limit? What is wrong with you? I shouldn't say that out loud. Okay. Wait, I don't know what happened. You guys are like saying that you're teasing me out of love, but I guess I missed a comment. I don't even know. I didn't even see. So if you think I'm offended, I'm not, because I don't even know what you were teasing me about. Oh, jeez. All right. Hey, Roy, nice to see you. I drove in LA and can confirm it was scary. Callie says, yeah, it's not a fun experience in my experience. But you know, I'm lucky and I'm grateful to have control over my own schedule, so I can go out when I need to and when I want to, and not be stuck in traffic. You know, so I'm very grateful for that as well. Teasing live is the best, especially when the host doesn't even see it. So it's a community thing. You guys tease away. You know, it's hard to offend me unless you are actually really, really rude, and you break my boundaries. They were teasing about Friday. Oh. Okay, I'll have to go back and read. Let your nerd be heard. Justin says, really like in the background. Me too. Me too. All right, you guys. Whew. So I will take a look at these poll results. I'm going to look again. So we're sitting at, Mondays and Wednesdays are tied right now. So get your vote in if you have not already. I am going to be making a decision and actually getting back into creation. So here's the deal. Here's my plan. I'm going to say it out loud. My goal, because one of my goals with my team is, and myself, is like, I got to get back into creating content. I've had a really difficult time creating anything content-wise because I have nothing working here yet. So my goal is to do this. I've got other meetings and stuff like that this week, but in between all of that, I'm going to clear out space. I'm going to organize the heck out of the cables, get it in a way that I can actually find what I'm looking for when I'm looking for it. And then building the studio will be so much easier, especially now that I have a set to actually do the lighting and all of that. So that's my plan. That way I can start creating YouTube videos as well. We have several that we want to pump out as quickly as possible. So yeah, so you'll probably be seeing this background for a while on my main YouTube videos until this other background gets completed. So yeah, it'll be a work in progress. It'll probably take till the end of February, depending on shipments, until everything is done. So that's what it is. And you know, we take imperfect action and we go forward despite not everything being the way we want it, and we just create. Yes? Yes. Manifested into being, yes. My name is Sheldon Cooper, type to organize Larry's parts closet. You know, this is anytime Sheldon Cooper comes up. Anytime he comes up, I'm like, but you know that I sat in his chair, right? So I got to interview the Big Bang Theory creator, one of the co-creators, and I got to sit on the set in Sheldon's chair, and that was like one of the highlights of my entire life. So that was cool. This was years ago. All right, we ended the poll. 31% Wednesdays, 29% Mondays. Callie, can you just screenshot that for me? Make sure that I have that info. Never the red wire. Definitely not the red wire. Do not. All right, you guys, you rock. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Sorry that it's been a little chaotic this month, but everything is in works to be much more consistent with lives, with YouTube videos, with social. Almost there, getting there. All right, one final question. We're about to make some big changes, and Anaru, I hope I'm saying your name right, to our studio, and we'll be going over your videos again to help for small spaces. Your videos have been really helpful in the past. Thank you so much. If you have specific questions around the small spaces, bring them up on these streams. I know small spaces are really tough to imagine, but I guarantee you, I've had so many students with small spaces. I even had a student, you've maybe heard me say this, who did it in like a Harry Potter under the staircase kind of closet, and it looked fantastic. So we've got you. Just keep coming back, keep asking those questions if you have something specific, and if you want more support from me outside of these streams, just reach out to support@livestreamingpros.com, and we can figure out how I can help you best get you to where you're going. And I really appreciate that comment. And even bigger bragging rights that we throw out pop culture reference, and she got it. Wait, we did? I got one? Yay me! All right, I will have fun, Billy. Thank you so much. You guys rock. Have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. Do something for yourself. I will be. And I will see you next week. Pay attention on social. Pay attention to the email as I give you updates on the new schedule as soon as I have that set. Thank you for your... I I have no idea what you're even talking. Oh, Sheldon, pop culture. Well, that's geek pop culture. I get some of it. Don't ask me about Star Wars. But, you know, outside of that. All right, I'm going to end on that note. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. Bye. Let's see if I can end this. Okay, here we go. Bye.